Imagine 104 passengers boarding a luxurious train in the heart of Italy in 1911, only for the train to vanish completely inside a tunnel and never come out again. No wreckage, no trace, not even records of what happened. Over a century has passed, and the mystery remains. Did the train truly disappear or travel through time? This is not a fictional tale, but one of the most baffling incidents in modern European history. The full story of the Italian train that entered a tunnel and was never seen again. In the summer of 1911, over 100 passengers departed from Rome's main station aboard a luxury tourist train operated by the Italian company Zanetti. The train was specially designed for a scenic tour of northern Italy, consisting of 3 lavish cars equipped with panoramic windows, polished wooden floors, and gourmet meals, luxuries unheard of at the time. The passengers were members of high society, businessmen, doctors, foreign tourists, and even a well-known Italian writer. None of them knew this would be their final journey, and that their names would be recorded in one of the strangest mass disappearances in modern history. Hundreds of kilometers from Rome, just before reaching Livorno station, the train was scheduled to pass through a short tunnel known as the Lombardy Tunnel, barely a kilometer long. The train entered the tunnel on time along a straight track, clearly visible from both ends, but it never emerged. There were no natural or structural obstacles inside the tunnel, and no natural disasters were recorded that day. As minutes turned into hours, station workers grew uneasy. Where was the train? Why hadn't it appeared? Was there an accident? Had it stalled inside the tunnel? Search teams were dispatched to both ends. Soldiers and workers entered the tunnel to investigate. But what they found was beyond belief. The tunnel was completely empty. No train, no wreckage, no smoke, no sound, no signs. As if nothing had entered it at all. Italian authorities immediately launched an investigation. Search teams from Rome were brought in, and the speculation began. Did the train somehow derail inside the tunnel? But there were no side tracks. Was there an explosion or collapse? No signs of destruction were found. Even the primitive satellites and tracking technologies of the era could offer no answers. Amidst the growing mystery, all train traffic in the area was suspended, and the case was temporarily closed under the label Unexplained Disappearance. Strangely, the operating company Zanetti began erasing booking records just days after the incident and told the families that investigations were ongoing. As months passed, the story turned into a local legend. Authorities began denying the incident altogether, and within a few years, most official documents were removed from public archives. But the story didn't die. In 1955, more than 40 years later, a strange testimony surfaced in Mexico City. 2 elderly men were admitted to a psychiatric hospital after being found in the streets hysterically claiming they had been aboard an Italian train and had suddenly awakened in this strange country. The attending psychiatrist noticed that they didn't speak Spanish, but rather Old Italian from the 19th century. The most shocking detail, one of them carried a train ticket bearing the logo of Zanetti and the date July 1911. The doctors sent photos and documents to the Italian embassy, but before identities could be confirmed, the 2 men mysteriously vanished from the hospital. This event reopened the case and sparked a new wave of speculation. Did the train travel through time? Did it enter another dimension? Is there a space-time portal hidden within the Lombardy Tunnel? Many theories emerged. Some claimed it entered a powerful magnetic field that altered its physical state. Others suggested Zanetti was conducting secret experiments on radio waves or time manipulation. Some even believed the tunnel was constructed over an ancient Earth energy line, similar to the mythical ley lines associated with strange phenomena around the world. The Italian government never released an official statement. When journalists tried to access the case files in the 1970s, the records had been reclassified as confidential under national security, fueling even more suspicion. Then, in 1991, yet another eerie account emerged. A farmer in rural northern Croatia swore he saw an old-fashioned train pass through an abandoned station one night, on tracks that hadn't seen use in decades. He and several neighbors visited the site the next day and found fresh wheel marks and smoke residue on the ground. No trains were reported in the area, and there were no heritage trains operating nearby. Who was driving it? And where did it go? No one knows. Over the decades, similar sightings have been reported across Europe and Latin America, always of a mysterious old train appearing briefly, then vanishing again. Yet, no photo evidence has ever been confirmed, leaving the whole affair in the realm of shadows rather than solid truth. More than a century later, the missing Italian train remains an unsolved mystery. The passengers are still officially recorded as missing. No bodies were found, no graves, no insurance claims. No company ever took responsibility. All that remains is the story, some witnesses, and the silence of the tunnel. Was the train the victim of a scientific experiment gone wrong? Or does our world still harbor secrets far beyond our understanding? Can a tunnel really swallow an entire train and time itself? It's a question that still has no answer. In the end, more than 100 years have passed and the train remains missing. The story is real. The early reports are documented. The passengers were officially declared missing. But there are no bodies, no evidence, no explanation for what happened inside the Lombardy Tunnel. Is the train still moving somewhere outside of time? Will it return someday? Or is the truth far simpler and deliberately hidden? Between science, myth, and mystery, the story of the lost Italian train remains one of the most thrilling unsolved enigmas in modern history.